Meanwhile, amid the efforts to rescue kidnapped victims, terrorists struck again in the Isapa community in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State, abducting 11 residents, including a pregnant woman, 2 nursing mothers, and several young children. According to reports, the gunmen, numbering more than 20, stormed the community with a large herd of cattle on Monday, firing shots indiscriminately and hitting an elderly woman with a stray bullet. A community leader confirmed that 11 people were abducted, with 7 victims belonging to the same family. Eyewitness account revealed that the attackers moved through parts of the town, leaving bullet holes in walls and doors, with expended AK-47 shells found shattered across the community after the gunmen fled. The latest attack comes just 2 weeks after gunmen struck the Christ Apostolic Church in Eruku in the same local government area, kidnapping 38 worshippers who were later released. Well, this is deeply troubling. Just days after celebrating the rescue of 38 church worshippers from the same local government area, the terrorists have struck again, and in the same LGA. Now, if additional security forces were deployed to Kwara after the church attack, how did over 20 armed bandits move through the community with a herd of cattle, fire shots indiscriminately, and escape with 11 victims, including children as young as 5 years old? Now, the question is, are security forces just rescuing hostages while doing nothing to prevent new attacks? Well, presidential spokesman Bayo Ononuga, who was on our nightly news program Primetime on Monday, revealed that the Department of State Services and the military contacted the terrorists to secure the release of the 38 worshippers abducted from the Christ Apostolic Church in Eruku, Kwara State, using a non-kinetic approach. Let's take a look.
The DSS and the military were involved in the rescue efforts. They have a way of contacting them.
You mean they paid the money?
Not paying them. The security people, they know all the bandits that operate in that axis. They know them. So,
what about their location? Is that known as well?
They know. I don't want to talk about the way they do their work, but I said they know all the gangsters operating along that route.
So why can't they destroy them before they go and attack these places? I don't understand why they have to come and wait.
Collateral damage. Look, our people are living around where they operate. So you can't just go there. Look, something happened some years ago in, I think, Borno State. Ran. Even somewhere, I think Sokoto or so, when the military thought they had the right satellite connection or something, and they went to bomb somewhere, only to find out
yes, we had
they bombed the wrong people.
Yeah.
And they need to be very careful that in the course of chasing these bandits, they don't go and bomb innocent Nigeria.
Yeah, but you just said they know where they are.
I said no. They know where they operate.
Well, there it is. The government admits it's negotiated with terrorists. I mean, putting a phone call through, while Ononuga insists no ransom was mentioned and claims the terrorists cooperated. The bigger question is, if security forces can track, contact, and negotiate with these criminals, why can't they arrest them before they strike? And that was the question Charles Anyogo asked Bayo Ononuga yesterday. I mean, he cannot be talking for the security forces, but he's speaking on behalf of the presidency. So he is well briefed. And this is the angst. But, you know, like they said, the United States is coming in to do this collaboration and have these, technical, advanced, communication measures that may help. But this is the angst in Nigeria, Dr. Abati. Why can't they kill them before they strike?
Well, the simple editorial point is the point that has always been made by the Nigerian government itself, namely that terrorists, bandits, insurgents are criminals. And we have laws in this country. The responsibility of government includes enforcing the law. When you don't enforce the law, you create a ridiculous situation whereby you promote the ecosystem, the quasi-economy that is being promoted by bandits and terrorists. In the case of the Kebbi girls, the girls from the government comprehensive secondary school in Maga. You saw the bandits saying, oh, they cut a deal with the federal government. What is a deal? In the case of the 38 women from the CAC church in Eruku, Kwara State, we are being told that the Department of State Services knows them, and they just told them to become like Father Christmas. But we know that in reality, these bandits, these terrorists, they are not Father Christmas. They are into this business because they make money from it. Now, if they make money from it, then it will mean that government is helping their sub-economy and invariably abdicating its responsibility and putting lives and property at risk. That is not good enough. However, it's not an argument that will be appealing to the families of the persons involved. Whether it's in Eruku, Kwara State, or it is in Maga, in Kebbi State, or even in Niger State, what the families involved will say is that they are happy to have their people back. In Kebbi, for example, Mr. Maruku, I think that's his name, Makuku, Mr. Makuku, vice principal of that school, died.
Yeah.
Now his family is wrong-footed. The family will have said, even if they had to pay ransom, they would have preferred that the man was alive. You know, so it's a double-edged kind of conversation, but the important thing is for government to secure lives and property and make sure that we are all safe. The commercialization of terrorism is what you pointed out, namely that after some people are rescued, you have another incident, as is the case in Kwara State, in Ishapa community, where more persons have also been adopted. I'm sure in another few days, they too will be released once either the state government or the federal government does the needful. Some people should not be making money on the top of others. All of us, as the president said, must see Nigeria as a place of safety.
Absolutely.
And the responsibility of the administration is to make this place safe for all of us, not to pay ransom, not to say we will engage in a deal, or make phone calls to bandits.
Right.
They give chieftaincy titles to terrorists in this country.
Unacceptable.
In Katsina, one bandit.
It's a bandit.
He was given a chieftaincy title by the community, and people attended. Now, where was the Nigerian state? The Nigerian state should have gone there to arrest everybody.
Absolutely.
But they give them chieftaincy title. Yeah. They give them jollof rice. They give them ashwebi.
And they have the Operation Safe Corridor program. Well, I'll take some more reactions. Adebanji wrote on X, somebody should please help us understand what is really happening in this country. At this point, it feels as if bandits are more powerful than the government and more important than ordinary Nigerians. Every day, our leaders come out to repeat the same lines. We know their hideouts. We know their location. We know who they are. Even the defense minister said they have located where the Kebbi girls are being held, yet nothing is being done. So what exactly is going on? How can a country openly admit it knows where criminals are, but still fail to act? Is it weakness, compromise, corruption, or something deeper that they are not telling us? Well, President Tinubu's special advisor on media, Sunday Dare, wrote on X that President Tinubu has ordered a total security cordon over the forest in Kwara State following the recent kidnappings and terrorist activities. Sunday Dare wrote in part, President Tinubu directed the Air Force to expand its air surveillance across the innermost parts of the forest in Kwara State, where it is believed the terrorists are hiding. They are to maintain a 24-hour surveillance and link up with the boots on the ground. This order equally applies to the Kebbi and Niger States axis, where many are expected to be rescued. Communities are also urged to provide timely information about strange movements and activities to aid the work of the security forces. Meanwhile, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, has proposed sanctions for government officials who negotiate ransom payments with terrorists. Kalu spoke on Tuesday during a special session on national security, saying that a legislative move to prohibit ransom negotiation would help in addressing insecurity. Let's take a look.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, despite strong anti-kidnapping laws like life imprisonment, death penalty for kidnapping, the practice continues because it is alleged that government entities negotiate with bandits and pay ransom. That is one of the things that the House must investigate. Security analysts confirm that amnesty deals and peace negotiation, they legitimize violence. They embolden armed group and undermine rule of law. The legislative solution required there is to ban unstructured amnesty negotiation and ransom payment by any government entity. Mandate criminal justice enforcement over expediency.
Ban ransom payment by any government official. Bimbai, I'd love to bring you into this conversation. I'd like your assessment of everything that we have discussed so far. I mean, starting with, Benjamin Kalu requesting that, that there should be a ban on ransom payment by government officials. Your thoughts?
Well, Oji, our constitution says that ransom payment is illegal, and they are now proposing for more legislation saying that negotiation should also be made illegal. But what have we done with that piece of law that says that payment of ransom is illegal? We can't enforce it. Why can't we enforce it? There's no political will to do so. Now, let's look at the president's statement concerning this recent spate and upsurge of kidnappings and abductions, and he used the word copycat attacks. That was his exact terminology, copycat attacks. Now, why is this happening? I see an incident happening somewhere in Nigeria. I see how it transpires. I see there are no consequences. Am I not emboldened to come and copy the act? I see that there's legislation around it, but I see that it's not implemented. The rules don't apply. So what will I do? I will not have anything that restrains me or that deters me from committing this offense. That's why we have punishments. Punishments are there to deter, not just to punish the perpetrators of crime, but to deter other people. Now, it's in instances like this that's why you get a growing number of people sympathizing with Nnamdi Kanu, because they're saying that in this instance, you were able to gather evidence. You were able to even do an extradition all the way from Kenya, and you were able to go through the prosecution process and get to conviction and sentencing. So when a spokesperson to a president says, we know them, we called them, and we gave them instructions, is that not an insult to our judicial process? Because that means that in essence, you're saying that, well, we can act if we would like to. So maybe the question we should be asking is, what is restraining this administration from taking the necessary action? Now, in Bayo Ananuga's case earlier, he had said that, collateral damage. And fair enough, that's an argument that may hold some water, because some people might say that the reason why Benjamin Netanyahu became known as a warmonger and a monster is because he had no care for collateral damage. He said wherever those terrorists are hiding, just raise the place down, bring it down to ground. It doesn't matter who else gets harmed in the process. So they're trying to say that, no, we don't want Nigerians to be harmed in the process, but it doesn't follow through. The statement doesn't follow to a logical conclusion, because you've rescued those who are vulnerable. Now the terrorists, the bandits, the criminals are in a position where they can be apprehended, but that's not happening. We're cordoning off areas and so forth in forest land. This is almost 3 months after there was a proclamation that we're deploying a forest guard of over 130,000 people to the various forests around Nigeria. Now we're deploying to the forest. I mean, the inconsistencies are very unfair because the policies exist already. We do not have a lack of ideas. We do not have a lack of laws. We don't have a lack of beautiful legislation. But are the people in power, those who hold the responsibility to implement and to execute, are they willing to do so? Okay, let's argue that they're willing to do so. What is stopping them if they want to? What is the pressure? Because it now seems that there are several forces at play that are bigger than meets the eye. So we want to know what is the pressure that is stopping them from apprehending those people, whether they be in Kwara, whether they be in Kebbi, whether they be in Niger State, wherever they are. Because it clearly seems like there's only a certain degree of political will, but there's also a part of the political will that's saying that, I don't want to make these people angry, or because, and this is why people now say that we're playing politics with this thing. So, in conclusion, those are my viewpoints. In conclusion, I think the Deputy Speaker of the House is, making great submissions. However, at the end of the day, with all these submissions, what do we do with them afterwards when they're in black and white on paper? We don't do much with them.
It has to be made into law. It has to be a law, and that's the beginning of the process. Well, during the same session, Alhassan Ado Dogua, the member representing Dogwa Tundu Wada local government area of Kano State, fiercely called out the Tinubu administration, saying that if the administration cannot do the right thing when it comes to insecurity, then the National Assembly should be shut down. Let's take a look.
The country is running in blood and tears. You cannot go, the farmers cannot go to farm. Our traders cannot go to market. Worshippers cannot go to mosque, cannot go to churches. Then what are you legislating here? Mr. Speaker, if the government is not prepared to actually do the right thing that will protect the lives and property of our people, I urge on you, I urge on this honorable house, as a house of the people of Nigeria, to stand up to pay the supreme cost. And that is no more than to shut this house down and to call emergency on any legislative issue and wait until the right thing is taken by the government of the day. And this house must not take for granted that we are not part of the government. If the government is wanting, this institution of the legislature is a component of the government itself. We have to look inward to ourselves and see what more of oversight functions, like some members have said, are we going to make? Are we going to provide? Mr. Speaker, we can even declare legislative emergency. Close the house, shut it up. Who are you legislating for? What laws are you making when the country is running in blood?